Yo, what's up YouTube and the comic book family out there in the YouTube community? Edwin the Comic Jabroni coming at you. Today's video, we're going to be going over DC and we're going to be going over Marvel, my pickups and reviews. So stick around. Alright guys, welcome back. If this is your first time watching one of my videos and you're into comic books, you're into retro video games, you're into toys, Ninja Turtle toys, whatever it is, think about hitting that subscribe button, guys. Hit that bell notification, dropping videos all the time. Alright, so yesterday was New Comic Book Day. Had a long day at school, got home, read through a lot of these books. Didn't get into the Indy books, but I wanted to make sure I read my DC and I read my Marvel books because that was the bulk of what I picked up this week. As I did last week in the independent video, I'm going to use Comic Book Roundup, the review scores, and I'm going to be posting that up in the corner here. So I'll give you my review and you'll also see the review scores from Comic Book Roundup. But let's get into the reviews. We're going to start off with Marvel. First book up from Marvel, we got Thanos, number 5. This is part 5 of a 6-part miniseries written by Tiny Howard. What can I say about it? I've talked about it for the past 4 issues. This is kind of a backstory of Thanos and Gamora when Gamora was a child. And Thanos, get me Thanos. So when Thanos abducted her, he killed off everybody from her planet. But because she could see death, Lady Death, who you know Thanos is madly in love with, he abducts her and raises her kind of, but in this issue you find out he's using her, obviously, right? He's using her. But this book kind of went under the radar because there's a pretty big thing that happens at the end, and this is a spoiler alert, guys. Spoiler alert. I think at the end of this issue you see one of the children of Thanos, and I'm going to show you an image, and not a lot of people are talking about this. This little girl right there, you find out through this issue that the whole reason this miniseries is happening is because Gamora, as an adult, is narrating the story and telling it to somebody. You don't find out until this issue that she's actually telling this story to that little girl. And at the end, Gamora tells her, hey, it's time to you need to go to bed. And you see off in the distance, you know, kind of Thanos back there, like an image of Thanos, kind of like in Lion King when Simba saw his dad Mufasa. Anyways, this might be a pretty key issue, guys. Just be on the lookout for it. That might be the daughter of Thanos. Have no idea. I'm not sure if that's a first appearance of this little girl or not. But Thanos number 5, guys, if you haven't been picking up the miniseries, unless you want this, might be key issue, I would pick it up in trade. So if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know I love comic books, but I also love retro video games. One of the video games that I grew up with playing a ton of was Mega Man. And when I saw this cover, I absolutely knew I had to have it. And that's going to be SpiderMan Velocity number 1. Got this awesome retro video game cover homage to Mega Man, right? So if you remember playing Mega Man, it was always in the 8-bit style like this. You had the bad guys who had one type of power and you had to figure out like how to defeat that bad guy by using the power of another villain. Anyways, so what's Spider-Man Velocity? This is a follow-up story to the video game that came out last year for the PlayStation 4, Spider-Man, which I thought was one of the best games that came out last year for the PlayStation 4. They did the City at War Spider-Man storyline, which was just the video game story in comic book form, but this is a continuation. So I love that game so much, and I absolutely enjoyed playing that storyline that I wanted to continue on with the story, because I think this Spider-Man from that video game is going to play a major role later on down the line. You do get the first appearance of this bad guy that uses bees, and he kind of kicks Spider-Man's butt in this. I enjoy it. I like this different take on Spider-Man. There's so many Spider-Man books out there though, guys, that if you're already picking up Amazing Spider-Man or Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man or Miles Morales Spider-Man, you might not be getting this, but if you played the video game or you read City at War and you enjoyed that, guys, I would be picking up Spider-Man Velocity, especially for this cover. If you were a fan of Mega Man like I was, guys, that cover's amazing. All right, there were 2 really big books that came out this week. Now these next two issues are they kind of go together, right? And this one is Absolute Carnage. This is issue number 2, written by Donny Cates. Artwork is done by Ryan Stegman, who I think is one of the best artists out there today, especially when he draws Carnage, Venom, Spider-Man. I think the artwork in this is amazing. As far as the story goes, it is just a continuation on from issue number 1. You know that they were at that prison trying to get Norman Osborn out. That's when Carnage shows up and he kind of beats the crap out of Spider-Man and Venom. What happens in this issue, though, is a bunch of stuff that you might need to go out and pick up other issues. And that's always been my problem with these big stories, that you can't just read the main storyline and totally understand what's going on. And it kind of happened with War of the Realms. It happened last year with the Spider-Man story and the Spider-Verse. You couldn't really just read the main storyline because there were parts thrown in there that you didn't quite understand. So that happens here, and it tells you in 2 different spots that you should read Venom 17, and then there's another one with Miles Morales. This issue's huge, right? So Venom kind of splits off from Spider-Man, so I believe there's going to be a Spider-Man issue maybe next week, 2 weeks from now, that deals with what Spider-Man's about to go do. But Venom calls the Maker, right? Reed Richards from a different universe, and Reed tells him that he needs to go and find somebody else. He kind of gives him the direction of who else to go find, and you find out that that is the Scorpion, Matt Gargan. So Matt Gargan had a Venom symbiote way back right after the invasion storyline, the Skrull invasion, when he becomes the Spider-Man of Norman Osborn's Dark Avengers. So Carnage is out there trying to get to Matt Gargan, who is actually being helped by Miles Morales Spider-Man. Pretty gruesome stuff, man. Carnage picks him up and he shoves this knife-looking thing into the spinal cord of Matt Gargan, which pretty much leaves him, not able to use his legs. Guys, Absolute Carnage is really good. Donny Cates he's killing it. And remember, and a lot of y'all are already gonna know this, but in issue number 1 of Absolute Carnage, there were 20 drawings in the back done by Mark Bagley. This says that there's only 1 found, but I've looked on Twitter and I've looked on Instagram, and there looks like there's about 6 out of the 20 found. So go to your local comic shop, and if they still have Absolute Carnage number 1, the A cover, look in the very back, and if you see, something like this, then that is one of the 20. Pick it up, guys. That is a super key book. But what can I say? Absolute Carnage, guys. If you're picking it up, you absolutely know. If you're a Carnage fan, Spider-Man fan, Venom fan, if you're a fan of the way Donny Cates writes, you're going to absolutely enjoy this. So the follow-up issue that goes along with it is Venom 17, also written by Donny Cates. In Absolute Carnage, you find out that the Maker is having some trouble with the 2 kids that he has there, right? One of them is Normie Osborn, the other one is Dylan Brock. This is also a key issue because you get the return of the Sleeper. Now you see him down here in the corner. He shows up in this book to protect Dylan Brock and Normie Osborn from the different Carnage symbiotes that are out there to try to get them. Because as you know, Normie Osborn, he has had a symbiote attached to him, so that means he has that codex in his DNA. So that's what Carnage is trying to go do. Venom, written by Donny Cates, really good. I've been picking it up since the first issue, and I enjoy that it is a tie-in to Absolute Carnage, but it's a book that I've already been picking up. I didn't want to go and grab the other tie-ins because they're just books that I haven't grabbed. I haven't been picking up since the beginning, but Venom is definitely one. I hope you guys are getting it. This is a key issue to pick up, especially if you've been reading Absolute Carnage. Last book from Marvel. This is House of X, issue number 3. I grabbed the A cover. There were a ton of covers for this. There was a really awesome Psylocke cover that I saw in my comic shop, and I wanted to get it, but I was already getting cover A, and I think usually cover A's are the ones that you want to get as far as spec value. But what can I say? I'm so glad that they came back to the House of X because they did 2 weeks of Powers of X, which was really cool. I enjoyed it, but I don't like it as much as House of X because House of X deals with the present time. And you kind of get not so much of the Moira McTaggart story that you got in issue number 2, but Moira plays a big role in this even though you do not see her. Because if you read Powers of X issue number 3, you know that in the future, they went to go find a crystal from Nimrod, which kind of tells the backstory of Nimrod and how he came to be. They give it to Moira McTaggart, so she kind of downloads it in her brain, and then Wolverine kills her, right? Because she is able to reincarnate. So what happens is, she remembers, she knows everything from all of her past lives, and she comes back to this time to tell Charles Xavier about how Nimrod and how the Mother Mold is being created. So that's what this issue is dealing with. You have this space station being built by humans to create this Mother Mold, which will eventually down the line create the Nimrod, right? And this Nimrod is a super mutant killing machine. X-Men don't want that, so Magneto, Charles Xavier, they task Cyclops of coming up with a team to go to that space station and destroy it. Who's on the team? You got Wolverine on that team. You got Archangel. You got Nightcrawler. You got Jean Grey as Marvel Girl. Super cool, as Perry likes to say, but you don't see a lot of action yet. It's going to be the next issue where you see the action. What I do dig about this, and I know I've seen it out there in the interwebs, is they actually finally give you the full translation of the Krakoan language. A lot of the ones that I had seen online, there were a few missing. There were a few of the letters missing. This is the total. This is the total translation. And now, like a nerd, I guess, a geek, whatever you want to call me, I actually went to the back and translated these 2 pages. So, really nice, man. They are building this absolutely humongous world in the X-Men. In the X-Men universe, and I'm absolutely enjoying it. Another awesome part you see in here is the White Queen go to kind of save Sabretooth, because Sabretooth is on trial for his crimes as a terrorist, and she goes there, kind of tells, the judge and everybody, Krakoa is this new nation state, and your State Department has given us, free reign to pretty much do whatever we want. So she takes them back. Awesome story. It deals mostly with that mission out to space, but you do get that awesome story with the White Queen and Sabretooth, guys. So I hope you're picking up House of X. It's incredible. That's it from Marvel. Let's get into the next one, which is DC. All right, so DC picked up the bulk of my issues in DC. There's like 8 or 9 books here, so I'm going to kind of run through them really quick, but I'm going to give you a good breakdown of it. First book, though, it is a facsimile. It is a true reprint of the original. That's going to be House of Secrets issue 92. If you didn't know, that this is the first appearance of Swamp Thing, written by Ling Wing. The artwork is done by Bernie Wrightson. I apologize. Bernie Wrightson. These facsimiles are really great to be picking up, guys, because they are a true reprint of the original books. It's for everything, like the back page, all of the guts of the book from cover to cover. You have old ads in there. You have everything. Even the pages feel like they're from something in the 70s. I did a book that just came out this week, and then I kind of felt this book and I read through it, and it is an actual true reprint of the original book. It's incredible, guys. Like I said, the only difference is you got that barcode, and up here it says 39 cents instead of the whatever it was back then, 25 cents or 15-cent book, 12 center. Absolutely incredible. I only picked up one as opposed to last week's Batman 232. I picked up 2 copies, but guys, get House of Secrets 92. It's a key issue. These books in the future might be worth more than what you just paid for it, just because the original is so damn expensive. Let's get into the next one. All right, next up on the list, we got Batman Beyond, issue number 35. This is the variant cover. This is written by Dan Jurgens. I enjoy Dan Jurgens' work. I enjoy this Batman Beyond. What do we get in Batman Beyond, though? We are getting the backstory of that new villain, Split, who is one person, but in actuality, it's 2 people that split apart and have this speed power. But you find out in this issue what their whole motivation is. They're trying to acquire these different scientific parts to put together. Don't want to tell you too much about it, but what the interesting part is that there's another new villain in here called Falseface, and he has taken the place of Terry McGinnis. So, evil guy, he's in the body of a superhero of Batman Beyond, and he is trying to help Split, trying to take them over to Wayne Manor, to the Batcave, because he knows that Bruce Wayne is got a lot of money, he is a really smart guy, and he could probably help them out. They're trying to stop that, but Batman Beyond has been really good. I've been picking it up for past, 15 issues or so, guys. This B cover is super dope, though. Bam! Next up on the list, we got Action Comics 1014, another Year of the Villain book. I picked it up mainly for, and we're going to get into it, spoiler alert. We're going to get into it at the very end. Naomi shows up. So, 1015, Naomi's on the cover. She's going to be helped by Batman and Superman. But 1014 is a good issue to get because it is her first real true interaction with Superman. As far as the book goes, I haven't been reading Action Comics. I really only picked it up for that, that keenness, I guess you want to say. It is mainly a story about Perry White meeting the new owner of the Daily Planet. Daily Bugle. Spider-Man, this is the Daily Planet. So, it's okay. Red Cloud has some new powers that she was gifted to by Lex Luthor. Nothing special other than Naomi shows up at the end, guys, so you might be wanting to pick up this book. Next up, we got Red Hood Outlaw, number 37. This is the B cover variant. This book is written by Scott Lordell, I want to say it is. Yes, Scott Lordell wrote this. I think he's been writing it for a while now. Red Hood Outlaw, Jason Todd. He is one of my favorite Batman family members as far as Red Hood goes. When Jason Todd was Robin, I wasn't a fan. A lot of people weren't a fan. That's why they killed him off. So, this is a key issue, guys. Key issue alert. You get 5 new metahumans, let's say. Because I'm not really sure if they're villains or they're heroes. Red Hood has accepted the offer of Lex Luthor. And the offer is for him to kind of run a school to train up these new villains. You kind of find out through this that Jason Todd has his own motivations, his own agenda tied to this. Because he said if it wasn't me, Lex Luthor was going to find somebody else like the Joker. And you already know what the Joker does to these young up-and-coming metahumans and they're just starting off. He's going to kill them. So Red Hood, Jason Todd wanted to take it upon himself. But you do get first appearances of these new characters. And it's going to be Cloud9, Babe in Arms, Devour, and DNA. But there's one at the end. I'm going to give you a spoiler, guys. I apologize. But it looks like you get a baby Doomsday. I'm going to show that picture off to you right there. Like a kid Doomsday. So this is definitely an issue that you want to pick up. There's some fight scenes in there. A lot of action, but a lot of dialogue too, which is cool with me. I enjoy that. Because it's telling more of a story. You don't really know where these new metahumans are coming from. We might find out later on. But you do get their first appearance in this book. I think Red Hood 37 is a good one to grab, guys. Alright, more Year of the Villain. We got Detective Comics 1010. Grab the B cover. This is written by Peter J. Tomasi. I want to get that right. Yes, Peter J. Tomasi, who has been doing an incredible job on Detective Comics. I totally enjoy what he's been doing. I grabbed the B cover. This continues on with the whole Deadshot story. Deadshot had taken over this airplane that had a bunch of billionaires on there, including Bruce Wayne. How does that always happen? So, plane goes down in this jungle island that has nobody on it, except you come to find out that it has these 2 older men on there that were actually from World War II era. Now, does this island have something special about it that can not age somebody as fast as they should age? Because World War II was in the 1940s and we're in 2020, so these men should be like 90 years old or so, and they don't look that old. They look maybe like in their 70s or so. Anyways, enough of that. Bruce Wayne actually puts on a brand new, kind of a new suit to go and take on not Deathstroke. Deadshot. I'm more of a fan of Deathstroke than I am Deadshot. It seems like Deadshot has too many problems in this book that a villain of his caliber shouldn't have. But Detective has been really good. This issue is pretty good. You also do, at the end, get more of a story with Mr. Freeze and his wife, Nora. I still don't understand what's going on and how he's going to bring her back, but I'm excited. I hope they bring Nora Freeze back. She has been a character that has been in a block of ice since the beginning of time, and I don't even know if we've really ever heard her speak in a comic or seen her move around. But let me know, guys, have you been picking up Detective Comics? I think it is better, like I said, than the other book, who was written by the one that must not be named. All right, let's continue on. We got Justice League 30. Now, this is partly written by Scott Snyder and also written by James Tynion IV. Artwork is by Jorge Jimenez. This is incredible. If you've been into this whole Year of the Villain, if you've been into Lex Luthor and him becoming this apex predator, this is what you want to be reading, guys. Let me tell you something. You finally are going to get the Justice League versus the Legion of Doom. You get the Justice League going out there and recruiting all the superheroes. You got the Legion of Doom and you got Lex Luthor out there recruiting and giving these super gifts to villains. And you're going to get a clash. You get a little bit of one at the very beginning, but all it is like a Starman, I think his name is kind of giving this vision to the Justice League and all of their allies on what is going to happen in 3 days. So now they're out here trying to stop that. They send a team off to the future to collect one of the crystal pieces that will bring Perpetua back, and you send a team off to the past that will also try to get a crystal that's going to stop Lex Luthor from bringing Perpetua back. But what I don't understand is you actually do see Perpetua in this, and I'm going to show you what she looks like. I don't think she's at full strength, but I do. There she is, right there with Lex Luthor. I think she does have her body, but she's not at full strength, and that's why she isn't out there trying to conquer. You get a really cool picture of all of the Legion of Doom and everybody that Lex Luthor has really tried to save. And the teams that go to the future and the teams that go to the past, they actually see the superheroes from those times. So the future, you see Kamandi, the last boy on Earth, and the team that goes to the past, they see the Justice Society of America, that golden age justice team, that Justice League team, right? Super cool. Absolutely have been enjoying Justice League since the very beginning, guys. I hope you're picking it up. You got Scott Snyder writing along with James Tynion, so there's just nothing but goodness. All right, next up, we got 2 books left, guys. We're almost there. We're gonna finish this off. Sean Murphy. This is Batman: Curse of the White Knight, issue number 2, guys. If you read Batman White Knight from, what was that, last year or a year and a half ago, you guys are absolutely enjoying this. Sean Murphy is doing the writing. Sean Murphy is doing the artwork. But you get some first appearances in here that are going to be big, right? You saw it in the first series with the Neo Joker, right? And how big that issue got. Well, in this issue, you actually have the first appearance of this man named Bakar. Bakar is one of the very early men in the Order of the Saint Dumas, right? Which is the same cult, or whatever the hell you want to call it, religious sector that is Azrael's, past. So Bakar actually is the reason that the Wayne family is set up in Gotham. So I enjoy these because you're getting history of Gotham, you're getting history of the Waynes from way back before Thomas Wayne, and you're getting a little bit of the history of Gotham as far as who was really ruling it and who came to take it over. There's one more woman in here that you get a first appearance of who feels like to me that she is like Amanda Waller, and her name is Ruth. And you see her right here talking to Batman. She knows who Batman is. She knows Bruce Wayne is Batman, and she's trying to tell him, do not come out and tell everybody Batman is Bruce Wayne. And she gives him the reasons, but she's kind of intimidating him and telling him to do it, because if you do this, everything is going to fall apart. All of your family is going to fall apart. And there's one more big thing. Here's a spoiler. If you don't want to know, skip forward a little bit. But you find out that Harley Quinn is pregnant. Wow. That's big time. So, guys, this one, Curse of the White Knight, issue number 2, key issue. Go pick it up. All right, last book on the list from DC, Batman Superman, issue number 1. I grabbed the, I don't know if this is the A cover. This is the A cover, right? Because it's got a 1 down here. So this is the A cover. Reason I picked up just the A cover, it's got Batman. I didn't want to go with the A and the B because I felt like it was, not worth picking up both covers just to have the connecting. So Batman Superman, written by Josh Williamson. Artwork is done by David Marquez. And I have to say that this really probably was my favorite DC read of the week. I went into this not giving it much thought. I thought it was just going to be, okay, just another Batman Superman story, but it really isn't. This gives you, if you did not read the Batman Who Laughs one shot and how Batman became this Batman Who Laughs, you should definitely pick this up and read it because it gives you a little bit of insight into what happened there and how he took out Superman, right? Really gruesome stuff, man. It's really good. But what is this issue about? This issue kind of picks up where the Batman Who Laughs maxi series left off. And now Batman needs Superman's help to go and find the Batman Who Laughs, and they find his cave, the bat cave for this villain. And they know that he has created these batarangs that have the Joker serum or the Joker toxin that can infect anybody. So they now don't know who they can trust. There is a really big reveal at the end of this, and I'm gonna show it to you. Spoiler, but you do get that first appearance of the Shazam Who Laughs, or the evil Shazam, however you want to call it. I think that is awesome stuff. You get a cool panel right there with Shazam fighting Superman. That has always been one of the big questions in DC. If Shazam and Superman fought, who would win? You saw a little bit in Kingdom Come with an older Shazam and older Superman, but now it looks like we're gonna get that fight again with the Superman of today and an evil Shazam from a different universe, guys. Batman Superman number 1, go pick it up. I think this key issue, awesome series, it's gonna be great. All right, guys, that's it, man. DC, Marvel, that was 13 books that I picked up. Tomorrow's video on Independence is not gonna be as long because I only grabbed 5 indie books, guys. So stay tuned for that. As always, thanks for watching. I totally appreciate all my subscribers and everybody that watches the video. In the comments below, let me know, what did you guys pick up this week? What did I miss out from DC and Marvel? I know there were a ton of books out there, just didn't have the money to buy them all. But let me know. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up, and I'll see you tomorrow for the indie books. I made it with my comic Peace.